So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video on the channel. Now in this video, I'm going to be going through the best e-commerce sub niches in 2021. I'm going to be discussing a concept that I've not heard anybody else speak about, but I promise you, right? I promise you, if you couple the two concepts that I discuss in this video and you make sure that any and every client that you sign on from this day moving forward have the two concepts that I'm going to discuss in the video, I promise you the service delivery side of your agency is going to see an instant increase. Now, bear in mind, you do still need to understand how to get good results and all that type of stuff, but this is going to make it so much easier for you to get ridiculous off the charts results, right? I was speaking to a pretty high level agency owner of mine, and he pulls in around $1 million a month, right? $1 million a month for a couple of his clients. And I was speaking to him, and I was like, you know, what is it that you just use a much higher ad spend or whatever? And actually he's spending around a couple $100,000, right? So even the ROAS itself is off the charts. And he actually mentioned this one concept to me as well, you know, and he literally mentioned, right, like it's the most important thing. It's the most important concept that you ought to ensure your clients have in order to get any sort of noticeable results. And you know, he's pulling in like $1 million a month for his clients, the clients where I see, or, you know, we're getting the best results possible. And even our clients, right, at Bax Consulting, we're pulling in clients, you know, a couple $100,000 a month return on ad spend, right? After ad cost, couple $100,000 a month. The two concepts basically that I'm going to discuss in this video are 100% evident. So with that being said, let's jump straight into it. Now, as always, make sure you go ahead and smash the like button below and subscribe to the channel. Hugely helps out with the YouTube algorithm, and this video is seriously going to be worth it. So with that being said, let's truly jump into it. So the first things first, first concept that I'm going to discuss is one that I've kind of touched on the channel before, but if you're new to the channel, then you must understand this one concept when it comes to sub niches. At Bax Consulting, in my programs, in the Quantum Leap Ecom Agency program specifically, I never really talk about, you know, sub niches specifically, right? I never say, I don't know, the fashion industry is better than the skincare industry, or the beauty industry is better than the camping industry, or, you know, the tech, consumer tech industry is better than, you know, the outdoors adventure industry, right? I never say that. And the reason being is because it's just not true, okay? It is just not true. Now, anybody that you ever listen to that says that, you know, the skincare niche is the best niche, or this niche is the best niche, or if you're not in this niche, then what are you doing? You know, anybody who says anything along those lines is talking absolute, okay? That's what they're talking, right? I'm not gonna say it. YouTube algorithm's gonna hit me. They're just talking that, right? And the reason being is because there's, you know, say for example, if someone says, okay, you know, the skincare niche is by far the best e-com niche. Well, the issue with that is that there is going to be amazing skincare brands, and there's also going to be just atrocious skincare brands as well. So how can you then go ahead and say that the skincare niche is the best niche? Well, it's not, because, you know, there's just as many terrible, atrocious brands as there is amazing brands. So we've got to use a different metric to, you know, kind of measure and track what brands are the best brands to work with. And it's not sub niches. Everybody thinks it's sub niches. Everybody's looking for what sub niche to go after, but it's the wrong conversation that you're having with yourself. What you need to look at is other metrics such as qualification points. Okay, now there's a difference between, you know, what's the best sub niche and, you know, qualifications, what brand is qualified. A lot of people think there's a big difference, but actually they're very tightly, you know, tied in together. Because as I say, if you, let's look at the skincare niche, right? For example, if you look at the skincare niche, then, you know, any and every brand in the skincare niche isn't going to be necessarily perfect, even if the skincare niche is amazing. So what you now need to do is look at each individual brand and take each individual brand through a qualification process. And only after you've taken them through that process, then you can decide, okay, this brand is a good brand to work with. So now we're not even talking about sub niches anymore. It's not even a question of sub niches, because to be honest, it doesn't matter. There's amazing camping brands out there, and there's terrible camping brands. There's amazing tech brands out there, and there's terrible tech brands. So any niche out there, any sub niche out there in the e-commerce niche, it has its amazing brands and it has its terrible brands. And also every single sub niche out there has brands inside of it that you can get amazing results for, right? It has brands inside that you can get amazing results for. So you shouldn't be looking at specific niches, because if you can get good results with your service delivery process that you've got in place within your agency at the moment, if you can get good results for a wellness brand, right, or a supplement brand, something like that, right? If you can get good results for this supplement brand, then obviously that brand is qualified. How are they qualified? Well, they've got a strong product market fit. They've got a good proof of concept. They've got a product that people actually want. They've got a sales process, which is like, just their website, right? That converts at a, ideally a 3.5% or above. That's super optimal, right? So if you can get results for that brand with those kind of traits, right? Well then, and that's in the supplement niche. Well then you can go over here to the skiing niche, right? For example, you can go to the skiing niche, and a brand who has also got a strong proof of concept, a good product market fit, a good sales process website that converts at a 3.5% or above. They've got a product that people deeply want. They've got strong USPs around that product. Reasons for people are going to buy that product over the competitors because X, Y, and Z, because of USP 1, 2, and 3, right? If there's no reasoning, if there's no unique selling points on that product, if there's no reasoning behind why somebody should buy that product over a competitor, then it's going to be a lot harder, right? But if there's strong USPs, all that stuff is in place, then it doesn't matter, as I say, if the brand's in supplements, or if it's a skiing niche, or if it's a camping niche, or if it's a tech-based e-com brand, right? It just doesn't matter. So that's the first thing. Take the conversation out of your head of what sub-niche should you go after, okay? It's got nothing to do with it. Look, long story short, I had a sales call this morning with a company who has these they're kind of like toys, but they're more like tools, right? They're more useful tools for kids who have disabilities, right? Like you would never think about that as a sub niche, because it's not really a sub niche, right? But the reason we reached out to them was because we could see from a bird's eye level view that the brand itself is qualified. It's got a good product market fit. They're pulling in right now around 50K a month, right? So they've got a good proof of concept. It shows that people are interested in the product. Obviously, that brand has a lot of USPs. It's a very much a blue ocean. There's not too many, there's not too many competition in that niche, and obviously, tools that can help kids with disabilities. That's just, first of all, it's amazing. And that in and of itself is probably one of the biggest USPs that you could possibly find, right? So that's what I mean. Like, we didn't look at that sub niche like, oh, let's go for tools for disabled kids. That's not a sub niche. It's just the brand itself had all the qualification points. And so because of that, right? Because of that, then we wanted to bring them on board as a client, because not only that side of things, but also they're currently working with the current agency who their advertising can be tremendously increased. Like, their ads right now are pretty terrible, right? So also we could see that area of things. Like, we could see there's a huge area for us to come in and seriously increase their advertising, seriously increase the numbers and whatnot. So we wanted to bring them on board as a client. So that's what you need to start looking at when it does come to your client acquisition, not what sub niche is the best. Stop asking that question, because there's no sub niches. Now, I want to get into the one concept that is very, very important. I want to get into the one concept that's very, very important, that the clients you do bring on board, that they are in this specific industry. Now, this may come off as a bit of an oxymoron, right? I've just been speaking about not looking at some niches, not doing this, not doing that. But there is specific industries that you wanna kind of have more of a preference over. Now, this is honestly one of the best ways. And this isn't sub niches, keep in mind, this is not sub niches, this is industries. Now, there's a difference, right? Because look, ask yourself this, okay? Ask yourself this. If you was now, today, to bring on a client who had a fidget spinner, right? Remember that huge phase, that huge craze that everybody was going through a couple of years back with fidget spinners, right? If you now brought on a client today who was in the fidget spinner industry, there's no way you would get amazing results. I don't care how good your marketing is. I don't care how good the sales process is or whatever. Nobody's going to buy it because there's no demand. There's no need or desire for that specific product. And so one thing you do want to have a look at and keep in the back of your mind when it does come to lead sourcing and whatnot is look at trending industries. Use things like Google Trends. Search it just into Google natively, best or most trending products or industries right now, right? Because I promise you, right, this is what I was talking about before, the two concepts. If you bring a client on board who is in an industry that's on the rise, who's in an industry that's trending right now, in the current climate, and that brand inside of that industry has a strong proof of concept, has a sales process that converts 3.5%, has strong USPs over the other competitors in that same industry, right? There's reasons why actually, no, this product, even though it's in the same industry, this product only does this, whereas my client does X, Y, and Z, right? Those strong USPs, I promise you, it is game over at that point. It's game over. You are going to get amazing results. Given that you know how to get, given that you actually know how to get good results, if you're equipped with a good strategy, for those of you in the Quantum Agency program, obviously you guys get my entire Facebook marketing strategy that pulls in. As I said before, we've got clients right now who are pulling in a couple $100,000 a month after ad cost. Obviously in that program, I show you exactly step by step how we do that, right? As I say, if you're equipped with a strategy like that and you implement that on a client who is in a trending industry and the entire business has got a strong, obviously it's product market fit because the industry is trending, but proof of concept on all those ideas that I discussed before, that's it. That is what you need to be putting your focus on when it comes to lead sourcing, because the reason we look at sub niches, the reason we look at qualification points, there's only one reason for it, right? And that is so that when you sign them on board as a client, you can get them results. And so by doing these two things in this video that I talked about in your lead sourcing strategy and process, you're going to be able to get these clients amazing results. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. You want to put your client on a pedestal. You want to get the best physical results that you can. And so I promise you, if you bring a client on board who follows or has these two traits that I talked about in this video, you're going to be able to do just that. You're going to be able to get them ridiculous results. And obviously if you slap on a little ROAS deal onto there, you're going to be able to build them a very, very healthy billable each and every month. And that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it probably wasn't as step-by-step as step-by-step as you may have wanted it or may have thought it was going to be. But I promise you that this is far more powerful than me going through like click here, then click there and click that, right? I promise you it's far more powerful. So make sure you go ahead and implement it, get your team to implement it if you've got a team. And as always, guys, just before we end the video, make sure you go ahead, smash the like button if you did find value and subscribe to the channel. And with that being said, I will see you inside of the next one.